Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. I don't want to fucking change our art again, man.
You
So,
don't have to.
but yeah, yeah, we're here. Um, Unfortunately for the ladies of Stardom who drew an impressive attendance, um, still 1/10 of what Twice drew in Tokyo this past weekend,
Oh,
3 times in a row. So sucks to suck, unfortunately, for pro wrestling. Um, there's more over in Japan, brother. But yeah, we're here. Um, yeah, we're here. That's
okay.
that's certainly something.
Well, I'm sure you'll be interested in the next part because you can head on over to the Five Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this as well as shows like Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling all go up. And the new No Limit dropped yesterday. If you
Yes.
want to, talk about it.
Yeah, we previewed Best of Super Juniors this year, and when we started recording, I didn't know that there was no schedule yet. So it was a bit of a surface level review or preview because we don't have like the final dates and everything to really like get into being nerds about it. So he's kind of looked at the broad strokes of the tournament, how we're feeling about New Japan and their junior division right now. It's not very good. Um, and we talked about like who would probably win, and it was El Desperado. And somehow I'm upset about that. Like I don't know how this shit has changed so much over the past year, where like now El Desperado winning stuff is like, oh my god, please just stop. Um, but we discussed that over on the No Limit Wrestling show special, so I would appreciate if everybody went and checked that out. We're both rooting for Kushida, but we both know Kushida's not going to win. So that's the that's them's the breaks, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, no, so I listened to a bit of it. You guys are talking about Jun Kasai being in it.
Yeah. So the problem is that like it looks like Desperado just booked himself to fight Jun Kasai again and win. Um, and that's kind of lame because like the whole point of their last match was that it was their last match for 10 years. And now they're gonna run it back like 9 months later. I was like, that kind of stinks. And so the alternative would be Francisco Akira for a finalist against Desperado. Don't like that either. Um, Obviously for very different reasons. Like I would love to see Kasai versus Desperado again, but it's the principle. But yeah, I'm excited for Jun Kasai. I think he's going to do great. I think people underestimate how good he is. Uh, Generally, bell to bell.
Yeah, no, I listened to a little bit of it, and you guys were having fun, but I don't really follow New Japan, so I kind of gave up after a little bit. No offense. This is not a New Japan show. We are starting with the World Wonder Ring Stardom, who this past week ran All Star Grand Queendom 2026 in Yokohama Arena with an announced attendance of 8,015 fans. I think this is a very successful number because when I was kind of asked during the week, kind of for an estimate, I was like, they're going to do between 65 and 75. Without Tam versus Saya, I just don't know if they're going to get that 75 again. So for them to go even higher with Kurara versus Kamatani, I thought was a bit of a success. Like I thought that was a positive sign for the attendance.
Yeah, really good number. I mean, like it just looked big, man. Like I don't know, like that's ultimately what matters is how it looks, how it feels. And outside of one match, it felt big. And the entire time it looked big. It looked like a lot of people. So that was really cool. Um, yeah, I'm kind of shocked because like this card was not as good as last year's card, just like on paper.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I don't know how they did it, honestly. Like I
Kamatani,
guess like
I guess.
the company's just over, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, like this card did not have like it just had the main event as like a true draw. Like that's
Mm.
the only like oh like the son of or the child of Tam, you know what I mean? and Sayaka Mitani, the two children of Tam, really. But the child of Tam versus Sayaka Mitani is obviously a draw. I can see why that would work. But otherwise, it's like, this card just didn't have like it had plenty of good matches, but not really any draws. Like any like oh like you got to go see this. Like that wasn't. It didn't feel like what the card was about, but somehow it just drew like a crazy fucking number.
Yeah, and kind of what really amazed me was that Taro, and I feel like they said this beforehand as well, that like this was known, but they wanted 10,000 and only got 8. So like internally they're almost disappointed by this, which is kind of insane. Because I feel like 8,000 is a lot, and I'm at the point where I'm like, how do you go bigger than this? You know, like you cannot have the woman who retired Tam lose to a descendant of Tam every year. Like after this, what is your like? How do you get past this 8,000 mark? And maybe it's gonna happen naturally. Like they have enough TV presence and media presence to like do that. But I do wonder like how will they eventually get to that 10,000 number? Is it by having Kamatani out of the title picture and trying to make like a Kamatani match that's a draw and a world title match that's a draw? Like, I don't really know. But it's kind of interesting that they still want to grow this, and I just don't fully know how they're going to do that. Um, and that's just the power of TV gets them there, which it could. I don't know. But it's definitely interesting to see how they kind of get over that hump because it's going to be very difficult to build matches that are more engaging than this Tam Road stuff.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's well, that's the thing. Like last week, I was having a discussion with Scott E. Um, about how like this company feels like it's in a rut from like my perspective because it is stuck on the Tam road and Tam isn't there. Um, but clearly that pays dividends, right? That has like the Tam road clearly has infrastructure built. Like it's a pretty strong, you know, road that seemingly won't end anytime soon, even if she's out of it, out of wrestling in general. So it is a kind of like odd dichotomy there that it's like, yeah, like how do you keep walking the Tam road? Like obviously like okay, I get what the story was now, like why they had to do all of the Tam stuff for the full year after she retired. Like I get that that was like purely in an effort to service Kurara, but I don't know A, how they like keep the Tam road going, or B, move on to something else. Cause like that has been kind of my trouble with the company is that it's like it doesn't seem like they are willing to move on to something else. And I get why. Clearly it still draws, right?
mm,
Like Saka Kurara would not be this big of a draw if she had never interacted with Tam Nakano. Like that's just the truth. Um, or if she mildly did, like if she was um like Aya Sakura wouldn't draw this much, even though she was in Tam's group, because Aya Sakura isn't so aggressively tied to Tam. Like she's just not. She doesn't have this sway. So I don't know. It's weird. Like I don't know what we do from here. I think this is the first time where I'm like actually like I don't want to say optimistic, because obviously we see who the next challengers for both belts are. Um, but this is the first time I'm actually like, okay, like we're progressing the story. I say that Sai Kamtani is going to win the belt back at the end of the year. That's my that's my assumption. I think she wins the 5 star and wins it from either Carrara or a hate member. We'll talk about that once we get to the main event. But I don't know how they keep doing this. Like I don't know how they're gonna keep the gravy train rolling, as they say.
mm. Well, it'll be interesting to see. And thankfully, it's not our job, so that's all the good stuff. Um, we opened the show with Maki Ito beating Natsupoi in 10 minutes. This was a fine opener. They kind of mixed a few different kind of vibes. They did a brief comedy thing with the star belt thing because Natsupoi was afraid to break it for reasons. And then they just kind of wrestled an okay match. But this was such a you could just notice Natsupoi slowing down for Ito a lot.
Mm.
And it was kind of what we feared Ito would like what would happen to her in singles matches in Stardom. Like the house style is just not her forte. And a match like this where her pacing is forcing Natsupoi to slow down and it just doesn't really work. You just get this okay to good match, but nothing really notable from either of them. It didn't really work. Like, and it was just kind of there to get her the win over Natsupoi, which is kind of a success in itself. But I definitely would have probably put something else in the opening spot because this just wasn't really it.
Um, yeah, Maki Ito, 3-star general, and that's being nice. Uh, yeah, I feel like this has been my review of a Maki Ito match like several times over the past couple months. Which is like, yeah, don't have
Yeah,
don't have much beyond that. It's like, yeah, it's Maki Ito, that's for sure.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't know here. Uh, I feel like Maki Ito is really good against certain wrestlers, but most wrestlers in Stardom, she just isn't and won't be. Um, and I feel like we just keep seeing that play out where they put her against very good wrestler. They put her against Aya. They put her
yeah.
against Natsupoi. They put her against like Kikyo. I think has had the best Maki Ito match,
Mm,
singles match, to date. And Kikyo is Kikyo, right? Like she's still green. She's still, you know, but that has been by far Maki Ito's most impressive showing. Uh, and that's because she can kind of be slower, right? And it doesn't hinder the match. It's like a big part of the match is the more the slower pace that is necessary with a style that they both kind of employ. Um, yeah, just not. I just don't know with her. I really don't.
mm,
It's a shame. I feel like Natsupoi just feels so checked out. Um, it's crazy that Kurara won the belt over Natsupoi. I understand the story. Like
yeah,
Kurara makes more sense in the story, but like this was crazy, frankly. Um, yeah, you know,
yeah.
I have very little like positive memories of the match. I just know it was like
That's fair.
it was worked fairly well. That was all I got from it.
Yeah, it did what they want. Maki Ito was their big free agent signing. They wanted her to get a big win. Natsupoi is an established wrestler. Maki Ito gets said big win, and that's kind of it. They did what they wanted. Um, Then got on to the Gauntlet Tag match. FWC emerged victorious as the last entrants. They beat Stars when Hazuki pinned Saida. And this was a pretty fine to good match. I think the tag format
I liked it more
works
than
for
most
this.
people did.
Yeah, I feel like the tag stuff makes the gauntlets a lot better. Like if it was a singles gauntlet, I think it would have been really bad. But just tag wrestling kind of fits just getting in and doing your shit. And there was some genuinely good pairings as the match went on, and then ending it with Hazuki and Ida. Can't really have anybody complain about that sort of stuff. So I thought it was good. It just kind of was free of any kind of meaning, so it's just kind of there. But everybody kind of wrestled quite well and tried their hardest. So
Yeah. Yeah, I quite liked it. I thought that all the teams were pretty fun. Um, so yeah, I thought everybody did really well. I was happy, to see an extended May Sarah wrestling match.
yeah,
That's rare these days. You don't really see her wrestle much. Um, that, and I think Ami and Hina's a really cool team, and FWC winning makes sense, right? By the way, Hina has a nose ring now. Big development.
oh wow,
Yeah, it looks really cool, actually.
okay,
Also, very funny. I was like, she's the one that gets the nose ring
yeah,
of the like. 'Cause I don't think like Rena has any. Like that's kind of hilarious. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah,
But shouts out to her. As I said on Twitter, Amisore and Hina are face card tag. Um, because they be mogging motherfuckers and they be
That's
beating the
valid.
fuck out of them too. Um, yeah, fun. I think FWC winning. The problem with that is that they just like do nothing ever.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna be V1 for O2 Line, I guess.
That's
That's where
what
we're
that's
going.
what that's what Walker like kind of alluded to, that like this was pretty much a number one guitarist match.
Yeah.
Um, and
Do
yes,
you
but
think
I
they actually
also
tell Walker what's happening before he goes out there, or does he just have to like make it up as he goes?
yeah, I don't know.
Because like obviously some companies would tell the announcer, but I feel like Stardom might just be like, yeah, just go out and like say stuff, dude.
I think yeah, I think he just
Somebody should
tries his
ask him. We should
best.
get somebody to ask him.
Yeah,
Like, do they tell you or like what's? Do you just like free ball
cause
it
like
here and then?
cause like that seems like something that, cause Walker, is in our circles. I know that Sprite even said, "Hey, can you say the words New Legacy during the Konami match?" And he did say the words New Legacy during the Konami match. So he's around, but but yeah, I mean like I can't imagine they tell him much. Cause I don't think New
Yeah.
Japan tells him much. Like I know
Oh, yeah, I don't know much about that.
I'm sure. Well, Chris Charlton is, like he knows enough. Like he's around uh the kind of like backstage stuff enough for like him to know, and he
Mm,
probably clues in Walker. But I don't know how much Walker knows and how much he's just like working hard to figure out. But
yeah.
I admire him. I thought he did a great job on commentary. Even the things he messed up, I was like, you know what, Walker, you're a good commentator. I don't even mind. Um,
He's one of the more like tolerable English announcers.
yeah, he kept calling B Priestley's super kick the cheeky Nando's kick, which is specifically not that. Um, but also it's B Priestley, so like I don't mind. I get it.
Yeah.
I I try not to remember all her move names either. Um, but yeah, good job from him. And yeah, he kind of like alluded to this being more of a kind of a number one guitarist match. But yeah, FWC being V1 is kind of lame. Um, but also like them
Somebody
not being
has to do it.
V1, not them not being V1 would also be probably more lame. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because
Well,
like if they just
yeah,
get skipped over, it's like, oh, okay, I
that's
guess.
fair. Well, that was that. We then had a Future of Stardom Championship match. Rani Agami beat Emma Mishima in 8 minutes to retain the title. I thought this was fine. I think Emma
I didn't
kind
particularly
of,
like it.
yeah, I didn't think Emma lived up to the moment. They made a big thing of Tanahashi giving her the sling blade, and then she hit like one worse than Britt Baker. She like didn't do any of it right. It was kind of crazy. But they just didn't mesh all that well. And I think Rana was the like standout because she was like at least her submission work I thought was really good.
Yeah,
But like nothing else really was there.
yeah, yeah. This and the first match were really the ones on the card that I didn't really care for at all.
Mm, that's
Yeah,
fair. Yeah.
it
Rana,
should have been
please
Kikyo.
face
It it,
Akira.
it should have been Kikyo or Akira or a lot of other. Not even against Emma Mishima. I just don't, like you said. I just don't think they click. And I
Yeah,
think putting this on the big show is kind of crazy.
that's
Well, it's kind of crazy.
that is awful.
Yeah,
Anyway, we then got on to our special.
I had to decide between putting Big Show and Sheamus on my low level of my greatest wrestler ever. It's a hard decision.
Yours is going to be so fascinating to
Yeah,
see. But all right, we had a special singles match. Fua-chan beats Saori Ano in just under 17 minutes with a Hazuki Strahl for a surprise win.
mm,
Um, it was a great match. I mean, Fua is an excellent fiery babyface, and Saori Ano is the kind of ice cold killer who is perfect opposite her. I remember the one spot where she just got Fua against the ropes and forearmed her very hard and then
yeah,
stared at her like, "This is real wrestling, bitch." And I was like, "This is fantastic. Keep it up." Um, this was a great match, just really well paced, really well done. Fua showed a lot of fire and a lot of heart from start to finish. Um, and then she pulled out some new moves to get the win. You know, the moonsault was a really nice surprise,
yeah.
and Hazuki Strahl was cool, and Hazuki seemed very impressed at her little protege. So it was an upset, but it was a great match, and I think Fua got a lot from it.
Can I be honest for a minute?
Yeah.
I I just got very confused by like the decision making here about Suriano and Fua and Maki Ito and Natsupoi. Um, I like you're right. Like the central point of the match was Suriano kind of trialing by fire Fua. Like this is fucking pro wrestling, kid. And that was cool. However, I think both wrestlers would have gotten more if they swapped. Like if Fuwa upset Natsupoi in the opener in a fast pace, relatively short opener, I think Fuwa would have looked cooler. And I obviously know that that's not where the story came from. Like obviously I know that the Ano thing was from the Cinderella, so I get that part of it. But like this match went 16 minutes.
Mm.
Um, that was a bit long for me, if I'm being completely honest. And I feel like Seriano could have matched Maki Ito's like uh pace a lot better and also beat the fuck out of her and also got upset. And that would have led to Maki Ito challenging for the title. And it's like that would have made more sense to me. Um because what kind of ended up happening. Soriano versus Fuchan. Let me preface. I really liked the match. I thought the match was quite good. Like I said, it was a bit long for me. There were points where I was like, okay, Fu probably not 15 plus ready. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of where I was at. Even though I still thought the match was very good, I still was like, yeah, uh maybe cut off a couple minutes here. But I thought Ano did a really good job. I really like Fuwa, obviously. But like I don't know. I feel like, put Maki Ito in there with Ano for 15, 16 minutes and have Maki Ito beat her, and that cements Maki Ito. And have Fuwa-chan get the Hazuki Straw and Natsupoi, and that makes Fuwa look like holy shit, like she has upset potential. Whereas instead, what ended up happening was that Natsupoi and Soriano just kind of looked like geeks. Um, and the people who won looked good. It's like, oh shit, they won, cool. But I think they could have both looked better if they swapped the matchups. But, that's not the story they told. The story they tell was very good in this match. I quite liked it. I did like Fua kind of like pulling out new things out of her bag and trying to figure out more things. And, the nod to Hazuki is always nice. I mean, this gotta be the first time two people have won with a Hazuki straw on the same mat on the same card. Like that's really cool for Hazuki, I imagine. Um, Obviously, she didn't invent the Lamahi straw, but like clearly there's something there that's you know really nice to be an homage to, be paid homage to. But yeah, I like the match, but kind of like looking at the card, in all its glory. Now I am kind of like, I feel like they didn't maximize either Fuwa's win or Makito's win, and they kind of more so made Natsuko and Soriano look a bit poorer. Um, So I think you were even saying that it's like Soriano winning is or losing is kind of crazy, and I agree.
Yeah,
Like,
well, like it was only a week ago that like four different people put the boots to Fua and said, "You don't take this shit seriously enough," and then
yeah,
she just magically was like, "Okay, I will." You're like, "Well, sure, I guess that's one way to do it." Um, but I don't think there was enough. Like, I feel like she could have lost this match and then got serious. Like that would have been how I'd have played it. But I mean, at least the Hazuki Strahl gives Soriano an out because it is
yeah,
a flash pin. Like visually, she kind of got straight up and was like, "What the hell? No!" So like they did kind of the WWE style flash pin of like, "Oh no, this is
it's
just an
not
upset."
legitimate. Yeah,
Yeah. So I kind of got it when as I watched the match. I was kind of like, I could be upset by that, but I don't see
like
the
I said,
point.
I wasn't upset. I thought it was a good match. It just kind of like it did. Um, Mainly my disgruntlement was that it went a bit too long.
That's fair. Yeah. So I suppose you need to fill time at a certain point.
I
Um,
suppose. I mean, I think a couple matches down the stretch did plenty of that, but
that's true. But yeah, then we got on to the Drunkers Crash Hardcore Tag Match. Vita Loca, the team of Rini Yamashita and Suzuki beat Hanako and Maika, also known as Cup High Mate, in just under 20 minutes when Suzu pinned Hanako. Um, People know if they've listened long enough, I am so over plunder matches. They do absolutely nothing for me these days. So, like this match just being
I
for
think your
20 minutes.
tastes. I think your tastes are boring and stupid. Um,
It doesn't excite me. Like I've seen like, every time like I go back to this, I've seen Bull stab people with scissors. Like I don't like you're not Bull Nakano. I've watched
but
actual like I could see
okay,
Rini
okay,
Yamashita
no,
and
no,
Suzu
no,
do
no, no, no,
actual
no. That's
cool death
really
matches.
stupid. That's
Like
really
Suzu
stupid.
Suzuki
I
has done
brother,
great death matches.
why am I watching this show if I've seen Kagetsu wrestle? Or if I've seen Jaguar Yokota wrestle?
That's
Like, why am I
different. Like
watching
it's
Shuri versus Megan
a
Bayne
different
if
level
I
of
have seen
violence.
Mariko Yoshida versus fucking Aja Kong? Like, why would I watch anybody at that rate? Like, I think that's a really reductive way to look at it. So, I jot that down, okay? Um, but no, I this match pissed me off for the opposite reason.
Okay, right.
This match pissed me off because I watched Hanako in it and I was like, this is the best wrestler ever, and she will never do this again.
Hmm.
Like that was the most infuriating thing ever. Like I saw, and this is gonna sound crazy. People are gonna be like, "You're fucking insane." I saw Dusty Rhodes in Hanako. Like I
What
saw
the
fucking
hell are you talking about?
like no. At one point, she was bloodied with the blonde hair, which is important.
Yeah,
Um,
no, she knew the assignment. Fair play.
and she's bloodied and she just like kicks out at one, or no, it wasn't even the kick out one, but she just like powers up and she's just dragging herself across the ropes and the crowd's going crazy. I'm just like, this is like old school fucking great babyface wrestling, like this is tremendous, and I'll never get this from her again. Like this is not who Hanako is on a day-to-day basis. It should be though. Like I think that my problem with Stardom hardcore matches is that like they usually kind of come from, if not nowhere, they're kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do that by the way. Like last year, even with Suzu and May Sarah, that was like tacked on at the last minute. They're like, oh yeah, and this is gonna be a hardcore match, and it was awesome. I fucking love that match. That
Mhm.
match was better than this one. Like just bell to bell, it was tremendous. Um, but same thing here. It's like obviously Suzu and Micah have had beef for years. Obviously, Mi Vida Loca versus the now deceased EXV. Like that's a thing that's been going on. But the hardcore, it's like, oh, okay, I guess, whatever. Like, sure. Um, but the problem with the hardcore matches is that like they sell you something that you don't get ever. You know, like last year, like Suzu versus May. Again, I'm going back to it because it's the easiest one to draw to. Um, Suzu versus May, it's like, holy fuck, Suzu's a killer. Like this is, you know, this really put her on another level. And then she never did anything like that again. And obviously she went through injuries and sicknesses and illnesses, whatever. So absences. But the same thing happened last year with Suzu and May, really, is that they both looked fucking incredible coming out of that match because it's like, holy fuck, they bled buckets. They were beating the hell out of each other. And then nothing happened. There was no follow up. Nothing mattered. They never really even alluded to it again. It's not like there's some blood feud. Here, it's literally like after the match, they all shook hands, which I will also get to in a minute.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like this just kind of frustrated me because like Mike has been really boring lately. I obviously am not a big Hanako fan, but they both like put in really good like bloodied baby faces in peril performances that like I want to like be happy about and excited about and be like fuck yeah, like these two prove me wrong, like they really killed it here. But next week they're going to have another boring match, and the week after that they're probably going to have another boring match, and there's going to keep being boring because this match was like non-canon. Like it was just like, oh Susie, you want to do something, and she's like, yeah, can I do another like hardcore match? And they're like, yeah, sure. And she's like, can I do it with Hanako and Micah? And they're like, yeah, sure. And so we've just been doing this for the past few months now. You know what I mean? Like that, like it just it's very frustrating that way because I did think this was the best Hanukkah performance to date. Um, I think like her blade job was fucking absurd. Like she was bleeding buckets to the point where I was almost concerned. I've watched some really concerning deathmatch wrestling. I was concerned about fucking Hanako because she was she was bleeding. Um, so yeah, I thought the match was really cool. I really liked it. It was one of my preferred matches of the night. It was uh third, fourth maybe. Um, depending on how I feel about the tag match, depending on the day, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of frustrating because it's like Hanako should be an FMW, women's division. Uh, she should be the person who took over the reins from Megumi Kudo, uh, in '96. But
What
unfortunately,
happened to
she's
you?
in Stardom.
You've com- you've compared the heart to Dusty Rhodes and
Yes,
Megumi Kudo in the
yes.
same
No,
breath. Like,
she's
are
not
you
like Megumi
okay?
Kudo. She's not like Megumi Kudo, but
Even still, putting
she
her
would have
in that
preserved the FMW women's division. The Dusty
okay.
Rhodes comparison was way more out there. I just remember a very specific spot of Dusty bloodied, like fucking like throwing
That
himself
was
across the
his
ring.
entire career.
Exactly. Exactly. And so Hanako did like a spot that just looked Dusty inspired. It's not like she is like Dusty, but
Okay, all right.
you know. Um and then after the match, unless you had something to say.
No, you kind of steamrolled me, so we'll go ahead.
As I do, fight back. Go ahead.
I'd rather not.
Um good. Then after the match, for some reason, they all shook hands, but not like in a way that mattered. They all just like kind of quietly just started chuckling and shaking hands. I was like, "What are you doing? This is not established." Like, I would have been cool with them shaking hands. I would have thought it was a really cool thing if they like set up the moment a bit more. Maybe I'm like WWE brained, but like Micah and Suzu shouldn't just shake hands. Like that should be a thing. Like that should be a moment that is photographed. Like they're like the that should be like a photo opportunity. You know what I mean? And they were just kind of like chuckling and patting each other on the back, shaking hands. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like make this a moment. It could be a moment. You could have a moment here, but you just decided not to. And then you left. Like what was that? How did you like am I crazy for thinking that was just insane? Like
Um,
I don't care if they bury the hatchet. I think that was fitting for like where we're at in this story. Like, please just bury the hatchet and move on. But it was just kind of weird. Like they after the match they acted like it was an exhibition, and I was like, where did this vibe come from? You
the
didn't
whole
even like
thing was
set it up.
the whole thing kind of felt silly to me because like Suzu just won. Suzu just beat Hanako, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
neither of them
mm,
bled, by the way. That was the
no,
other thing that I was like, so Hanako and Mike are just getting beat up, and Suzu and Rina just aren't. Like this is like
yeah.
80-20.
I don't know. I don't really know what this whole 5 month detour was meant to accomplish because I thought it would be like, oh well, Hanako's gonna go over and they're gonna like move her up a level, or
Well, I still
Micah
think that
gets the
happened.
retribution,
I
and
think
it's like,
Hanako's
oh no, because
like
she got pinned. She just lost. Like, I don't know. None of this has been of any benefit to any of the four. This
well,
5 month detour.
I don't think Hanako had to win because like I think Suzu is the master of the hardcore match. Like she's 2-0. Like that's something that they're excuse me clearly pushing for.
I
Like I
guess.
get that, and I think Hanako still had the best babyface performance of her life. I think you're I yeah I think you just didn't get it to the point where like none of this works for you. Whereas like I think most people it worked for to some degree. Like and like I this put over Hanako. Now next week when she has a boring match, I'm gonna be fucking disappointed. But it put over Hanako, like clearly. Um even in defeat. Like I think that you just don't see it because you didn't like the match.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I give credit for going blonde for a blade job. That's wrestling 101. At least she got that one down. But
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, I don't know. The match itself just didn't really.
It's a shame. I've bleached my hair one time, didn't look good. So if I became a wrestler, I don't know if I'd be able to pull that off.
You just have to wear white. So that's the
Yeah,
alternative,
that's
isn't
the
there? It's
yeah.
just
I
like get
love when
a white
motherfuckers be wearing
collar.
white. It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing. I'm
So
so bummed that Gold Ship never had like a death match against Prominence. Remember when they had the all white gears? All three of them, fucking
Oh,
Momosaki
Mahim. Oh,
and
though
Scott.
them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
where they
meant
would just
Mahima
wear all
Koi.
white.
They had the white
No,
pants.
they did have the white pants. More hardcore matches. I know that you don't like the plunder, but just bleed more. Like I don't. I said this last year, and it annoyed me more last year than it did this year, but it still annoys me. You don't have to do hardcore matches to bleed.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's the thing. Like last year's match, it wasn't a hardcore match. It was just a great match between Mei Sarah and Suzuki. They both hit each other with a chair once on the outside of the ring, which is technically legal, um, because everything on the outside of the ring is illegal, thus making none of it fully illegal. Um, they both hit each other with chairs and then just wrestled a match bloodied. You could just do that. Like you could just do that on a fucking on any given Friday. Like you could really do that anytime. I don't know why we have to make these hardcore matches. Um, but yeah, that frustrates me because it's like, yeah, I mean, like if like give me Hanako versus like fucking anybody as long as she bleeds, and I'm here for it. Like
Okay.
that's where we're at.
You just wanted to be Cody. That's
More Moxley, but sure.
okay. All right. Well, we spent way longer on that than I expected. That was
Why?
just
I don't have.
such a waste of time. Um, the match that is not you talking. Um, we then got on to the IWGP Women's Championship match. Siri defeated Megan Bain in 17 minutes to retain the title.
See, but
Um,
that's the thing. I have much less to say about this match than I do about the last match. Because this
you're
was just
you're
this was
so
just
strange.
it was just a very
Um,
good match. Like I don't know, like
okay.
it was dope. Yeah, nothing
Um,
much more than that.
I thought it was great to see Siri kind of in a different spot. You know, we've
Yeah.
only ever seen her like rule a match in Stardom. Like she's always kind of on top and just dictating the pace. But Megan was kind of just like, well, no, this is my match. Like she threw Siri out of the ring. You know, like nobody else is throwing Siri out of the ring. So it was fascinating to just see that different dynamic from Siri and seeing her instead of just being the I'm a UFC fighter, I'm better than all of you. She actually had to be like really smart and really clever and kind of try and work down Megan Bain. And that's kind of what Bain sells the best. So I thought they just did a really well worked like monster versus babyface match with kind of Suri playing a very unfamiliar role very well.
Yeah, no, I thought that was an interesting aspect. I think the dynamic was really cool. Megan Bain's still dope. Uh, you know, it was just nice to see two wrestlers that you don't really get to see like do much these days do a lot. And like kind of like take advantage of the opportunity because Megan Bain, like I say this as somebody who doesn't really watch AEW anymore, but Megan Bain, it's not like she's been getting these like opportunities to wrestle 15-minute singles matches, every month or something. Like that's not what Megan Bain's doing. Um, so it was really nice to see her in that light. I also just think Megan Bain's a lot better in Japan. Like I think
Yeah,
she's a better wrestler. Like I think it just
paid for
works
it.
more. Yeah, she's perfect over there. Um, yeah, did Megan Bain versus Olympia CMLL?
Yep, it was great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
People loved it. I'm surprised you didn't see it
Yeah, I didn't get around to. I
because
like didn't. I did not watch wrestling in March. I was just kind of like I'm over it. Um, but I'm back in it. Yeah. So I thought that was awesome just to kind of see them both do stuff. But it was just like a very very good match that you know uh felt very much in a vacuum because there's nowhere this came from and there's nowhere for it to go, unfortunately.
yeah,
Because yeah, like this is awesome. I wish we got more of this, but we don't. That's the downside. But I still thought the match was awesome and one of the better of the night.
okay. Our next
Top
match
two,
was
top two of the night. I actually agree with
yes,
the
I agree.
consensus.
Yeah. Our next match was for the Goddess of Stardom titles. Neo Genesis or well O2 line of Azumi and Miyu Amasaki beat BMI 2000 of Natsuko Tora and Rocca in 23 minutes to win the titles. Um, wow. I
Which,
mean, I
hey,
don't.
you know, at least this one got 23 minutes instead of the next one. That's where I'm at.
That's
Like,
fair.
looking at these match times, it would have made sense for Hana and Konami to get 23 and for this to get 18. Thank God that's not what happened. Because I thought this
Yeah.
match was still very, very good. Um, I thought that the time was fairly justified. Honestly, I just
Mm,
think I think near the end I was like, okay, Miyu does not have to be in here this long. You could have wrapped it up a
no.
minute ago. Um, but I also like I still think like a 20 plus minute match was 100% justified here.
No.
Because yes, because and you're the one who fucking is all about this hate shit. Like this is how you defeat hate is have them be so insurmountable that it's like, yeah, it shouldn't take less than 20 minutes to beat them.
I
Nobody
saw
fucking
somebody
does
else say that, and I'm like, Azumi literally pinned Tora like a month ago. Like, that is the only
that.
slight issue there.
Okay, Alex, you see the problem is that
Like Miyu
I am
Amasaki,
trying
I'm
to
pretty sure people have pinned Natsuko Tora to Kingdom Come at this point. Like,
Alex,
yes.
we cover this show this company every single week, right?
Mhm.
I have not been positive for like the past 40 weeks or so.
Okay.
So the one time I give them the benefit of the doubt on in-ring storytelling, don't bring up all of the ways that they're bad at it. I know they're bad at it.
No, it's just
You
I
don't
was kind
have
of
to tell
surprised.
me.
2 people have mentioned this to me, and both times have been like, Azumi literally beat Tora like 3 weeks ago on pay-per-view. Like,
Yes,
I
but
don't.
it like again, giving them the benefit of the doubt here, it is different to win in a 2-on-2
Okay.
than a 3-on-3. Like it's a different dynamic. And for as
Alright.
much as I hate how much they just do that, like I can admit that like Konami losing to Hanan a couple weeks ago on that Korakuen, where everybody just fucking beat the fuck out of Konami, and then oh no, that was Hina. Yeah, I don't remember Hanan versus Konami matches. Sorry, that Hina match that where sorry, Ano hit Konami with her finish, Natsuko hit Konami with her finish, Hanan hit Konami with her finish, and then Hina hit Konami with her finish, and then beat her. It's like yeah, Hina pinned Konami. Holy fuck! But like, like that's different from a one-on-one. Like I get that. So Natsuko and Ruaka, specifically as a tag team, 2-on-2s, have been unbeatable. Like they've lost one match in the past year, or
Yeah.
like, am I like yeah, like God League, like they went to the finals or whatever. Like
They lost the final, yeah.
they lost the final. Like they were pretty unbeatable. Um, so to defeat them, yeah, it should take a little bit extra time. Like I thought that like you know I think Miyu might have started running out of gas. The last minute was a long minute. But, like, up until around then, I was like, "Yeah, like, this should be a fucking hard task, like, this should be a struggle," and I think BMI 2000 did a great job of making it a struggle, so I did appreciate that, and I thought Azumi and Miyu did well. I would have mixed up a bit more. I feel like Miyu was really hung out to, left out there to kinda die over the last, like, 10 minutes of this match. I feel like Azumi was in good form on this show, and I would have liked to see her more, honestly. Because sometimes, Azumi's just kind of like, yeah, she's good, but, she's pretty, she's moving at kind of like the natural pace. I felt like she was, like, really, like, putting a lot into it, and then she just was out of the ring for the last 10 minutes, and I was like, "That doesn't need to be what we're doing here." We could have mixed up a bit more. But, yeah, I really liked the match, a couple minutes too long, but I I I do understand that it's like and I think all 3 of these matches, to some degree, hit on this, that it's like, you have to put in that extra something to beat hate. Like you need to put in this extra, you know, 10%. You have to put in 110% to beat hate. You can't just put 100%. I feel like this match and the main event did a great job of telling that story. I even think that like of all of the problems I have with the semi main event, um, that was like still the present through line was like Hanan had to put in a bit more to beat Konami. So like I think that that was like a story that was established throughout all three of these matches. I think this match arguably did that story in particular the best. Match itself wasn't the best of the three, obviously, but I think that, like, making hate feel so insurmountable, that was done incredibly well here.
I liked. I feel like the BMI reign is like one of the most useful tag reigns we've maybe had in Stardom ever. Because I mean, you got these two over as like the monster of the division. You know, like they were just the two headed dragon in atop the tag scene for a long time. It turned Natsuko and Rocca into a legitimate draw. You know, they were kind of trusted to main event Korakuens throughout their reign and were doing, 1,200, 1,300 attendances for those. And then here, the crowd was I thought the finishing stretch with Amasaki, she looked kind of rough, but the crowd, when she got the pin over Tora, was super into her. Like, I think they were
Yeah.
louder for Amasaki than they were for Hanan for a large
Well,
part.
yeah.
Um, and so, to have a tag title reign where you get Tora and Rocca over this well, and then you finish it and you get Miyu and Masaki over, I think that is very useful. I think it's a very good use of the tag belts. And it's kind of one of the bigger swing and hits that we've seen from Taro because I feel like whenever Aussie would kind of do these longer tag title reigns, it was never kind of the same. It was usually because he forgot about the belts. You'd hold it for like 400 days and have three defenses. Um, but here it just was like they put a lot of stock into
To
Tora
be
and
fair,
Rocca and
they've
used that
done
to
this
get over Amasaki.
by completely forgetting about the artist belts. Like, those don't exist anymore at
Yes,
all.
that is true.
Um, I think they forgot that Hate still has them.
Possibly.
So, but yeah, so like I get what your point is. The title reign was a bit hit or miss for me. I thought that, like, a lot of the matches felt a bit limited. Um, Maybe in part because they were so dominant, right? It felt like there was no way that they would ever lose these belts. Um, so I think that probably, was a thing. But I think the payoff, I think it is kind of like a shame that uh people didn't love this match. I quite liked it, but I think it could have been a bit better. Um, with a bit less time and a bit more, with a bit more, I don't know, thought put into, a bit more conciseness to it. Because I feel like this was like the ultimate BMI 2000 match. Like, I think that's the problem that I've had, is that it's like they're so good at losing. Like, they're so good at being overcame, that I've been like kind of like itching for it. And so I do wish that, like, some of the smaller aspects of this match were worked a little bit better. Because, like, this was like a very like this is such a fun BMI 2000 match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I think they're just really good. I think BMI 2000 is really good. I think their Reign of Terror, like you said, was effective, at least, even if I didn't love all the matches that they had in it. Um, I thought it was really well done and fun.
Yeah, and we kind of saw the beginnings of the hate kind of losing their grip because they tried to cheat in this one and it failed, and they still lost the titles, and they kind of will come back to that as the matches go on. But then we got on to the Wonder of Stardom Championship match. Hanan beats Konami in 18 minutes to win the Wonder of Stardom Championship. I think Konami put in a pretty Herculean effort in this one. The
I
crowd
disagree.
crowd just wasn't as into Hanan as they were into a lot of the baby faces on the show, from what I could hear. And she made them kind of root for Hanan by the end. Like, her performance was so good at like beating down on Hanan and forcing her to kind of show that kind of fighting spirit that gets crowds into her, that they kind of got the crowd on side by the end. And even with all the when the cheating, when Hanan reversed the spray paint thing, like, Konami sold it really well. And I just thought, like, Konami did a lot to get the crowd behind Hanan, which they kind of had to, because I think I said it online, I've said it here. Like, I didn't think Hanan gained a lot in the build to this match. It was kind of just her getting spray painted and beat up, and then she got the one promo at Cork and last week where she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna unite and we're gonna face hate, and all that stuff, and I was like, this is great, but it's way too late. And it wasn't even a particularly like amazing promo from Hanan. So I think I have a lot of respect. I think for Konami for just kind of forcing the crowd to cheer for Hanan through how she wrestled, and so I thought it was like a pretty good match. I've been into the Konami stuff. I don't hate Hanan nearly as much as the internet seems to hate Hanan nowadays. Like it was good, and I thought Konami just did her absolute best to get the crowd to react for the babyface, which is really all that was her job, So
The Hanan Hogan font did not help her.
that was
Um,
incredible. I'm sorry, that is hilarious.
this match was much more boring than Hogan's are too. Um, yeah, I didn't like this match. I thought the match was pretty bad. I started falling asleep. Um, unironically, and I watched this during the day. Like I watched it. Like I watched this match at 5 p.m. And I started falling asleep. Um, yeah, I just didn't see the Herculean
Yeah,
effort from Konami. I didn't see that. I saw like a Konami who was mildly worse than her other defenses. Like I feel like I said that like BMI 2000 on the show like had like I would say they did like put in massive effort to like they did a great job. I feel like Konami did not. I also think Azumi and Miyu are just better and had more energy behind them than Hanan did here. So I'm not blaming it all on Konami, obviously, but Konami, I don't think helped this match. I thought the match was pretty bad, mediocre. The match was pretty mediocre. I felt like the problems I've had here and there with the Konami defenses, they were all present here, and I don't think Hana was able to like kind of like overcome them. Like I think the like exhaustive kind of like early going where it's like okay like it's the feeling out process, I'm not going to be too upset, but like never felt like Konami or like Hanan like leveled it up from there. I never felt like she like had like this like strong like comeback from it, uh and you just kind of were waiting for the closing stretch, and then the closing stretch I thought was like fine. um like I said, I think they did a good job in this match as well as the other matches at kind of selling that it's like, yeah, it's really hard to beat fucking hate. Like you have to beat them at their own game. You have to do your best game 10 times over. Like they did a good job of putting that over, Hanan hitting a shit ton of backdrop drivers
yeah,
and the
three drivers. Yeah,
hitting the heat seeker, your favorite wrestler, his finish. And yeah, like I don't know, like I think the closing stretch, was better than the rest of the match, but the closing stretch was 4 minutes of the 14 or the 18 minute match. So 14 of the minutes I thought were like just kind of downright not good. I didn't think Hana was like really putting in the work, and I think Konami was at a pretty baseline level here as well.
okay. Well, I
Definitely,
disagree,
definitely
but
my least favorite match of the night. Um,
it's insane. Okay.
I don't know, like I didn't feel like annoyed by Maki and Natsuko. I thought it was like whatever, but like I was just like, okay, man, whatever. And then the post match, I was like, fuck you, dude. Oh my god, I don't want to watch this show anymore. Like that's where I was at. Once spoilers, B Priestley turned on Hanan, I was like, fuck off. This is stupid. This sucks. Like I was just so over it. That was a double whammy for me.
Okay. I got the swerve wrong. I knew there'd be a swerve heel turned on the show, but I thought it'd be the world title. It was actually the white belt instead. Um, Another bad B Priestley turn. Kind of crazy because like
I don't know. I kind of like the Batista of it all, you know.
no, but like it's like well, Hanan already won. If you're
Yes,
if you're
yeah,
with
that
hate,
was
you
yeah.
kind of have missed your chance to help hate keep a belt.
Well, no,
So
but she
that's
wanted to
kind of
help herself. Like I think her joining Hate in the moment was stupid. Like she should have joined Hate next week. Like that.
possible.
Like I felt like her turning on Hana and being like, fuck you. And then next week, it's like, oh, the heel B Priestley, of course, joins the heel group. Like just from like a kayfabe point of view, it's like
Mm.
over the next week, maybe she reunites with Natsuko. They get some drinks because they were tag partners. Konami tag partners. Momo
Who
tag
hasn't
part.
been a
Like
tag partner with me previously?
they, she's been a tag partner with basically every member of Hate. Um, currently, so like you
That's
could have just
stagnation. That's crazy.
yeah, but you could have just like told the story that's like, oh, like she didn't want to help Hate, she wanted to help herself, but Hate can help her,
Mm,
so she joins Hate. Like I think like it being like a plan, like her having the fucking t-shirt on, that's stupid. That is stupid. What the fuck are you doing? Like
that's wrestling for you.
yeah, but like you're right. That's like it's like why would you wait until after the match? Like I don't know. The answer is because like she's being selfish. Like she didn't
Mm,
want to help Konami.
that's a
She
good
wants to
point.
win the white belt. But I think that would have been sold better if at the next Korakuen B joins Hate. Because
Yeah, for sure.
it's like I was homeless and I found a home, and we're gonna be evil. Mwahaha shopai. Like that would have been fine.
Yeah, I got you.
By the way, not excited for heel B Priestley. Like holy fuck,
Will just stop.
her as
Would
a
just
babyface has been a
stop.
fucking breath of fresh air because her as a
It'll be
heel is the worst shit
fine.
ever.
No, it's
And her
not.
versus Hanan, bro, I've seen enough Hanan versus Tekla. I am not happy.
All right. Okay. Hold
And
on.
Hanan's
B
worse
is
now.
so much
No,
better than Tekla.
Hanan's worse now than she was when she was fighting Tekla. And B is better than Tekla. You are right. But her come like just now getting back to being a heel, she's going to be so heavy on the heel shit. Like it's going to be so bland. She's going to be slowing it down so fucking much. She's going to be working that goddamn headlock, and I'm going to blow my brains out. I don't think I should say that on the podcast, but I
Probably
just did.
not. Okay, that's great. Anyway, our main event was for the World of Stardom Championship. Sayaka Kurara beat Sayaka Matani in 27 minutes as she debuted a
Damn.
Firebird splash to get the win. Um, I thought this was a great match. Didn't fall into a lot of the crutches that I think Kamatani has come to lean on. It was actually just a well built match. They didn't kind of overdo the spots or the athleticism. They did lean into the physicality a bit more. They did kind of remind us that Kamatani was at one point a very good wrestler at building her matches.
Yeah.
I think Kurara was very good in her spots as well, and kind of using the spear to kind of fend off Kamatani, using her different moves to kind of try and keep the match close. Like it was just such a breath of fresh air. They didn't do the stupid one count spam. They didn't do the power through a big spot and yell and it doesn't hurt suddenly. Like they didn't do any of that sort of stuff, and they just went for a well built emotional world title match that had a lot of drama, and it was just a very enjoyable time. It was a great match, a real return to form for Saya after a bit of an iffy past year, where she kind of just started to rest on her laurels a little bit. But yeah, just work wise, I can't really have any complaints. I thought everything was pretty well done. I know we disagree on it, but I love the baby faces assembling to run off Hate. That was the climax of everything that's happened over the past 3 months. The December pay per view and the Osaka pay per view, they were setting up this moment where the people, Stardom, finally said, "No, you are the darkness that's tried to corrupt this company, and we're not letting that happen. We're going to fight you off once and for all." And this was their Cody Roman kind of moment, just without John Cena to make it better. Because that would have been like if John Cena shows up, this is 5 out of 5. This is like the match of the century. Um, yeah, like everything I thought this was great. I was into it. I liked the story, obviously. And they didn't overdo it, which a lot of times people do. So credit to both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the match was great. I really liked it. Um
I feel like I knew
I
I liked it when they did the Avalanche Star Crusher, and instead of just doing a kick out, they actually did a like
like
sold it
there was
as
time.
she's
Yeah.
hurt and had time.
I
And I was
like
like,
that.
dude, where's this been? Saya, what have you been doing? You could do this.
Yeah, no, I thought that like, I still think Saya struggles with the heel openings, but like it was the first like 3 minutes instead of the first like six. Everything after that was great. That's why I was kind of shocked. That was 27 minutes. I was like, damn, like sh- major majority of this match was really fucking good. Um, 'Cause yeah, I thought it was awesome. Like I think there are clear like I think there are moments where I was like, okay, Kurara is trying a bit hard to be Tam, but she's just not, and like those kind of took me out a little bit. The ramp spot, fuck off, please stop. Um,
That was Heritage at this point. That
the
was
the
Stardom
shoot
Heritage.
the shoot headbutt, like Sai had to go so soft on it because Kurara
Yeah.
is, not Tam. So like that kind of took me out a bit. Like there were a couple things like that I was like, eh. Um, but I thought that like this was an incredibly well worked match, especially by Saya. I think Saya did like such incredible, remarkably intricate work to make this match, you know, um, really put over Kurara, and I really admire that from her. And I think the story of the match was awesome. Like I think that like oh fuck.
What on earth happened?
My dog tried to eat an avocado pit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll hop back in. Um, yeah, I thought the story was just like really well done. Ultimately, like I bit heavy-handed, shocker, I know, Tamroad, but the Tam gown and having the spear, that's very Tam-esque. Um,
She looked like Timu Tam for a second.
yes, she did. I thought the gear was nice though, but yeah, like definitely Timu Tam. But I also loved that in the end, excuse me, the way that she won the match was by stealing Saya's move,
Yeah.
was by being inspired by Saya. Like I think that is a really cool way to kind of make that up, I guess.
Mm.
Um, because ultimately it's like her first match was against Saya. Like it wasn't against Tam. Like Tam was the one who like inspired her to wrestle. She's the one who she, tagged with and who, you know, all these things. But like Saya was her first match. Saya was like this like integral part of who she is. And, you know, I just think it was really a well done finish, especially. I think the finish, I think the Firebird specifically was like, yeah, this is, you know,
Are we
I'm
safe to
here
assume
for
the
it.
Phoenix Splash is just banned?
No, I think one
No.
day.
All right.
I don't think Kurara was gonna hit a fucking Phoenix splash. Let's make one thing very clear. I think Kamatani is probably scared of it. I don't think it's banned, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a AJ Styles thing where it's like I
Mm.
don't think I can hit it anymore. Like I don't think it'll turn out well if I tried to hit it. So I'm not going to. Like that at most, but I don't think it was banned or anything like that.
Okay.
Because yeah, I don't think it was necessary for this match because I don't think Saya was really like doing any like it didn't like
No, it's
there
just
was
I
a
feel like if there was any move from Saya to steal, it's the Phoenix, but maybe she just can't hit it.
yeah, that's
That's
not
fine.
a
I
thing
was,
that
it was
normal
just
people can hit.
yeah.
I
Oh
thought she was
no,
gonna do
I
the
don't know.
shooting star. I was getting so excited, but then I was like, oh, okay, that's cool still. Um, but yeah, no, I thought the match was great. It was the best match of the night. One of the better Psycom time matches in recent memory because I did I thought and I brought this up to you that I thought that the run-ins were a bit um clunky. Like
Mm.
I really didn't like Momo and Soriano just being inside the ring for a good like
Nah, that
20
was cool.
seconds um just to break up the big like I feel like that distracted from the fucking Tam suplex spot. Cuz I was like what the fuck are they still doing in the ring? Oh, they're breaking it up. Okay. And so I just waited for them to break it up. I was like, "Oh."
Mm.
It kind of deflated that spot for me a lot. And from there, it was just kind of like a bit just mistimed. Like the time was just a bit odd. Like whatever, there are plenty of nitpicks I have. I didn't think it was like some you know absurdly great best match of the year type match, but I did think it was pretty fucking awesome. I thought it was incredibly well done and a great way to put over Sakakura, which I think is like the even bigger part of this is that Sakakura fucking beat Sai Kamatani for the world championship.
Yeah. I mean,
That's insane.
neither of us had this call last week. I just didn't think they would change all three belts, and I felt like the the baby faces needed a new faction, and that's why like Cosmic Angels could go away, and then Micah could join up with Kurara or something. Like, it all just seemed like, yeah, Kamatani's just going to win. We can go from there. But instead, they decided to make a star. I'm willing to go all in and say that they made Kurara on this with this show. I think we have joked sometimes that like Kamatani is the biggest babyface in Stardom because the crowds are always rooting for her anyway. But like from the very beginning of this match, Kurara was getting chance. She was getting the louder chance. The pop for the finish was massive. Like from the moment that video promo dropped, where we were both like, "This is it. It doesn't matter what they do. She is a star, regardless. Like this is your top babyface." Like I think between from there to here, they have just managed to make her into the top babyface, and I'm fascinated to see how she does on top because I feel like they really managed to put Saya's momentum onto somebody else, which you don't often do that. It's very difficult to kind of transfer that kind of momentum. But I think they did it really well, and Kurara feels like her own kind of shooting star now on an upward trajectory, and I'm fascinated to see how it continues without Kamatani because like if crowds are into her against Kamatani, how into her are they going to be against like Maki Ito or something? So very fascinated to see. But yeah, I think a lot of credit to Stardom. They kind of made themselves a new top baby face with this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the first incredibly like interesting in a positive way move that I felt from Taro in a long time.
Mm.
Um, because like even when there are things that are like interesting, it's like, yeah, but like not necessarily in a good way. Yeah, like I felt like it was interesting when EXV died,
Yeah.
but it was odd. It was executed weirdly. A couple months later, it's fucking I don't know, you know. Um,
Mm.
it didn't really feel like that was interesting, but I didn't feel particularly like hopeful or optimistic or happy about it. But this is the first time where I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is cool. Like go on, this is dope. Um, so yeah, I'm happy with this, and I'm quite happy that they've just given me something to be like interested in. That I'm just like, oh, I wonder how this goes. Like, you know, it's it's a fun one.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, see,
Um,
this is what I was alluding to. I need Saka Carrara versus Hanako
yes.
for the red belt, and I need Hanako to beat the fuck out of Carrara for the first like 5 minutes, then go to outside. Saka Carrara launch her into the fucking ring post and her be bloodied, and then like kind of like flip the dynamic a little bit. You know, what I mean
I
that's what I need.
don't. You'd
That's
be
the type
setting
of
yourself up
thing
for disappointment.
I am, but that's the type of thing that would work for me.
You
You
gotta
know what I
watch
mean?
Mid
Like
South
that's
or something. You gotta start watching your
yes.
your
I
territory
I just
tapes.
yeah, I just miss bloody wrestling, man. I like
Yeah,
that match made me feel alive for fucking 10 minutes. It was great. Um
crazy.
yeah, I just miss my I miss blood.
That's fair. Um, Yeah, that was All Star Grand Queendom. A very eventful show. I knocked it out of the park, I would say, in a lot of ways. I think what blew me away was the production. This show
It
looked
looked beautiful, yeah.
beautiful. It felt so major league. Like this could have been a New Japan pay per view. This could have been an AW or WWE pay per view. That is how well
Oh, it looked better
everything looked.
than most New Japan pay-per-views.
Yeah, like the venue looked fantastic. The wrestlers came off as massive stars. Like this is the kind of as women's wrestling fans, we don't get this kind of thing often because a lot of the promotions are low budget. But Stardom just said, "Look, we're going to flaunt," and they flaunted really well. And the show, I mean, if people are still doubters, you kind of can't doubt them much after this show. They're part of the major league now. Like this is where they're at. So that's that for All Star Grand Queendom. Um, I don't know if we have anything to preview. I actually don't know what their schedule is like for the upcoming week. Um, let's see. I don't think there is. I don't think they're doing much for the next week because it's Golden Week, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It
They've
is
got
Golden
Golden
Week.
Week tour, more Golden Week tour. Yeah, no, they're not running a Corkin for a while. Do we? Yeah, on 17th of May. Okay. Yeah, so we also know the first two challengers. B Priestley is challenging Hanan, and Maki Ito is challenging Kurara. Those are both announced for the pay per view in May. Queen's Dynasty in I thought
In
that was
Kurara's
something
hometown. I
else.
don't know where that is.
Yeah,
Must have
I
missed
don't
something
know.
then.
I can't see it on the schedule, and I don't want to get it wrong based on translation. But anyway, that's the pay per view next month. We have our challengers. They're both logical V1s. I mean, Maki Ito has been feuding with Cosmic Angels literally since she arrived in the company. So I feel like her facing Kurara was very obvious, and I'm kind of more surprised that it's not a bigger show. Um,
Oh, it's Nagoya,
um, I don't
kinda.
know. I thought somebody said it was somewhere they haven't been in like 2 years, but I thought they were in Nagoya last year.
It's north of Nagoya
Right.
in
Okay,
yeah,
listen, we're
yeah.
both listen. We were focused on All Star Grand Queendom. Gotta give this some slack. Um, yeah, that's all for Stardom. Very big show, very fun times. Uh,
Inazawa. That's
up,
that's the town.
yes, okay. Big ups, Sayaka Kurara. Now, unfortunately
Oh,
for us,
also, I think that Fukuoka date, uh, I think
that's FWC,
I think that's FWC.
possibly. Unfortunately for us, it was also a busy week for the other company that we cover.
Not in very good ways.
No. So, Marigold, a lot of news. Literally right after we recorded last week, they announced the that Victoria Yuzuki has torn her ACL. Now that might be a translation error, but the website, when I translated to English, does say she tore her ACL and will be out for the foreseeable future.
It's a
Now,
partial tear. Yeah.
yeah. So they haven't vacated the belt, which I think is insane. Like, there is no way this woman is wrestling for the next like 4 months. Um, I don't really get what they're doing there, but this was a big blow when it happened. Yuzuki versus Chi Chi was kind of one of those matches that was going to inject a lot of life into Marigold. Like, that was a distinct, exciting match that they were setting up, and now it's kind of ripped away from them. And it's also like Yuzuki is one of those house show demons. We spent the last few weeks talking about her and Komomo Minami really impressing in tag matches, and now you're losing that presence for however many months, and you're stopping her United National run just as it was about to kick back in. Like, it's a very bad injury for Marigold, and I don't know if she's getting surgery or if she's going to try the Koki thing, where like you don't get surgery and you
Yeah, I
just
don't
let
think
it
she's
heal.
getting surgery.
I'm always concerned about that sort of stuff. Like, I feel like you should just get the surgery. That's kind of what I would indicate. But I mean, Koki's been fine, so I guess they're hoping Yuzuki will be fine too. Um, yeah, just very unlucky for Marigold there that Yuzuki is out with that ACL. And it sucks for us as fans because like Chi Chi versus her would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna miss out on that now because of that. And also, as people who have to review the house shows, like we're gonna have no Tommy
We're
soon, which
missing
we'll get
all these
onto.
we're missing all like
Yeah, there's no Tommy soon, no Yuzuki. Miyu has a foot injury. Like, it is getting spooky. So yeah, Yuzuki's injury, very upsetting, very tough.
yeah, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, frankly. Like,
What can
cause
they do? you know?
strip. I mean, we'll strip Yuzuki first of all.
Yeah, well, they totally have to do that. Shine Forever has to have a new United National
Well,
champion.
so my thing is that it's like because they haven't done that yet. Um, I fear they won't
I don't think they can
strip her.
hold a belt in abeyance for like 4 months.
I think the way I'm gonna look at a calendar 1 second.
Because
So
presumably she's aiming for like Summer Destiny. That's in
yeah,
August, right?
but so she got hurt. Um, like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I don't know when she started treatment, but if she started, hopefully, this past weekend or yesterday, um, it would still be, 1 month of recovery. It would be fucking shine forever, right?
Mhm.
I could see that being a number one contenders match that they then have to hold off on for a long time. Yeah, no, that wouldn't really
No,
work.
you just can't do it
I don't know. I feel like if they were going to, they would have already.
unless they want to do an angle. That's kind of been my thing. Like, unless they want Chi Chi to cut a promo and say, "Where's your champion?" Where she was calling me out. Where is she? I want my belt. And then
Like,
you
hey,
can set something up.
I think I said this to you that my dream here would be a Tomoe battle,
Yes, yeah, you did.
for the white belt, or like my thing it was either white belt or for the number one contendership, but I would prefer it if they had a belt for the next
Hmm.
couple months. And
Yes,
it'd be Chi Chi, Komomo, and Rhea Seto, and you can give the white
mostly
belt
like that.
to either Rhea or Chi Chi, and then Komomo. Sorry, Moha, but I think Komomo is not anywhere near the white belt. Um, I think she should get the Superfly belt like yesterday, but
Yeah.
I digress. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Um, it's a really hard situation, and it's also why like just everything about Marigold is so fucking frustrating.
Who knows? Just to pile on the bad news, at the end of the Korakuen, we learned that Utami Hayashishita will be leaving Marigold at Shine forever. The second major departure of a top star in the past 6 months following Mirai. Um, a real blindside.
Of their first 7 wrestlers, all of the good ones are gone. Not good ones. Yuzuki's good. Um,
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
my at the time, but yeah, no, at the time, yeah, all their good wrestlers are gone.
Mm,
Like I think Mai has obviously become one of the best wrestlers in the world, but at the time was bad. Um, Now
yeah.
Ishikawa was always, fine. She's always solid. And Yuzuki at the time was good, but she was like 3 months in. So like, she had like 15 matches under her belt.
Mhm.
Um, all of the other ones are gone, which is
Crazy.
insane.
I feel what surprised me is that it's happening in this month and not
Oh,
in October. Like,
yeah.
because I had said it privately to like a bunch of people that I felt Utami could be the next out the door. Like, Utami, she's done everything. She's been world champion in both, the companies that would book her to that level. TJP probably wouldn't.
Which
Um,
to be fair, I said this year one that they shouldn't put the belt on Utami yet because I
yeah,
was worried about this.
yeah. Like, she's 10 years in. She's been famous since she was a child. I think that's one of the things that people overlook is like her family was in the public eye from when she was a kid. Like, this is somebody who, in recent times, to me, has looked like somebody who'd rather mess around with her drinking buddies and work uptown doing comedy than being the top star of a promotion.
Speaking
So
of which,
I,
she was at the bar with Go Chica
yeah,
and
like
Co
literally, she's
literally like 3 hours
that's
ago.
what she wants to do. That's her ambition now. She's been famous. She doesn't want to be famous anymore. Um, so like this was something that I thought could happen. Like if there was anybody that was going to do what Mirai did, it was going to be Utami. I'm just really surprised that it's happening now as opposed to October because I thought she'd kind of stick around to October if he needed her to, and maybe Rossi, like you theorized private. I don't know if you said it on the show or privately. He's very much just kind of gone. Either you're all in on Marigold or I don't want you, and that's why it's happening now. And he's been like, I just if you don't want to commit, then go. 'Cause yeah, I don't see why you're doing it now. Like the Yuzuki thing, it doesn't help. Um, Mayu's foot is acting up. Like this is the last like this is the worst possible time I think to let somebody like Utami go. But ultimately, she is definitely somebody that I thought might have some kind of motivation to go elsewhere and just kind of live her best life.
Yeah, I mean, she's done a lot of what Marigold can offer her already, unfortunately. Um, I watched probably her best match of the year, definitely her best match of the year so far, against Momoka Hanazono the other day. And I was
Yeah.
watching that, and I was while I was watching this, was before she announced she's leaving. I was like, I my thinking with Utami was always that either she will inherit the company or she will leave it within a few years. Um, and like inherit could have meant like, oh, like her and Mayu kind of take charge, once Rossi's dead or just wrapping
Yeah.
up or whatever, or whatever, like if Mayu doesn't want to handle a lot of the stuff, I feel like Utami would be more willing to handle it, whatever the case may be. Um, I always felt like that was either the case or she would just leave because it's like she enjoys just kind of like low key wrestling. Um, but at the same
As we've
time, it's
always
like,
said, a comedy wrestler doomed to be a main eventer. She
yeah,
just
but
wants to mess around in tags and be funny.
also I don't know if that's true. Like the thing with Utami is that it's like she's a very confusing person, like just as a person.
Mm.
Um, because truthfully, and like we don't always believe people when they say, "Oh, this is why I leave this company, or this is why I do X, Y, or Z." It's wise not to always believe them on that, but or at least take it with a grain of salt. But I have a hard time thinking that like her leaving is anything other than what she's saying it is. Um, because like I look at last year, and we've had some disagreements about this, but I look at last year. She got the red belt. She was the main eventer. She was the top star for the year. Um, year two was intended to be about Utami. Like that's
Mhm.
what Marigold was meant to be, and it for one reason or another just kind of wasn't. You know what I mean? Like I know people like to bring it up a lot, but Rossi undercut her in a interview highlighting, like her big title defense against Mirai, right? Like before that happened, he, said, "You gotta stop drinking so much." Uh and then she was, semi main event of that show. Um she didn't main event any show with the world title, any major show with the world title. Except for the Sari one. And that was one thing. But like that was something else. And it's like she didn't main event really anything. She didn't have many notable programs. She tried her hardest. I think the Takumi match, you always bring it up, that it's like that was clearly like Utami wanting something to sink her teeth into and going way too far, way overboard with it. Um and I love that match, but I tend to agree that like that seems like the type of match that Utami would be like, you need to give me something to like do before I lose this belt. Like you need to give me like a match, like a good meaty match, like something to like, you gotta give me my Shuri, right? Because like first time around, it was kind of similar. Like she was having good matches, good defenses, but then the Shuri match hit, and that was like, okay, like this is like a title run. The Micah match was good. Um, I'm blanking on the match that happened right after the Micah one, but first couple matches they were good, whatever. But the Shuri one was like, yes, this is something. And I think she was like, you got to give me something. Like you got to give me that Shuri match. And the Takumi match, it wasn't that. I loved that match, but it wasn't that. And it also, I think to the crowd wasn't that because that just lent. It just didn't lead to anything. Like there was nothing. There was no like, oh, Tommy's like, like certifiable now. She's like that wasn't how the feeling was after the match, even among those who loved it. Um, and so it's like by the end of the year, she drops the belt to Miku, puts over Miku great, in my opinion. And then, it's the year end awards and she gets the You Tried award. And she's like, dude, there's nothing left for me to do. I just had my like defining year, quote unquote, in Marigold, and everybody thinks it was shit.
Yes.
And it wasn't booked well. And she, because it's like they booked Utami well. This is a very important
Oh,
differentiate.
dude, the people were like, "Oh, their booker like shit." I'm like, I
That's just not
wish
true. That's
some
just not
people
true.
I liked were booked the way Tammy did. She had a
Yeah.
notable match at every fucking show.
Oh
Like
yeah. Like it's
every
not like
Korakuen, every pay-per-view, there was a standout Utami
she
match.
was
Like, would you stop?
never an afterthought. She was never like somebody who like wasn't respected. But I do question if she was someone who was appreciated. I feel like she was someone who just at all times was like, yeah, Utami's here to help, but Mayu, man, Mayu's something. And it's like, oh, yeah, Utami's, she's a good champion, but Miku's cooking. Yeah, Utami had a pretty fun tournament, but Yuzuki was a different animal. Like that was the story of Utami's year last year, and that was her defining year. So I think that like like just kind of like reaching her boiling point when she got the yeah fuck off fighting spirit I guess or whatever award. Like I get that feeling like that just being like a fucking like killer blow to her and being like, dude, I prefer working indies anyway. The Momoka match is more fun. I'm trying to get booked here and there and there. She's working Gambari, like she's like,
Yeah.
I just
Wants to
would
wrestle
prefer not.
Venny and hang out with Venny like
Yeah,
forever.
and
You know,
like ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if she went to America or to Stardom or to whatever. But it's like, I just think that like at this moment, she's like, dude, I don't want to.
I once heard a really weird rumor that she like asked Nagayo to
Yeah, she
transfer to
wanted to
Marvelous
transfer.
or something.
Yeah,
I was like, I
because
would
her and the
totally
guy
see it, but I
are
don't know if they
close.
have that
Yeah,
money. Like, I don't know if Marvelous has the money, but hey, maybe that'll be what happens. That I remember hearing
I don't
that
think it's
once
about
upon
the
a time.
money though. Like I think Utami makes like I don't know. I doubt she'll transfer the Marvelous. Let me
No.
preface that. That sounds
Well, I think
insane.
they would have just said
But
she's transferring to Marvelous unless they're like doing an angle
yeah,
on
exactly.
their Budokan.
Um,
But yes,
but
I
but
remember hearing that like from people close to Nagayo, I guess. um,
yeah, you know,
that was a thing. But I mean
yeah. But
that's an insight into Utami's mind. That's where she's been at. It's kind of
as
like I want to
for
work somewhere smaller with my buds.
yeah, and like I said, like I think her point of just like yeah, I felt like I put a lot of effort in, and it was the most I'll ever get out of Marigold, and I didn't get that much out of it. Like that was what 2025 was for her. And I don't think that's an insane thing for her to feel. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think for someone like Utami, I think like being like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna dip now makes sense ultimately. However, beyond the how Utami feels about it aspect of it, I do think that this is like a pretty bad, bad look for
Oh,
Marigold.
dude, it's terrible. Like I know people were a bit over the top because it's Marigold and it's the internet, but from a perception standpoint, it is impossible to defend a company that has had Mirai and Utami leave in the space of 6 months. Like it is just impossible. You'd sound like the biggest dick rider ever, you know? Like even like I can't like sure I get it in some degrees, but I can't defend it. It is a bad look for Marigold. Um, and for us, this is like the sky falling because we've said for ages that Marigold doesn't have enough people at the top to pull up the rest, and now they're losing Utami. Like, does Rossi does he just think his future is going to get over magically? Like what? Like what's what do we do it? Like what? Like even if Utami said I want to leave, get her to
You
stay
have
for October and put over like 5 different people. You know what I mean? Like, get her to just put over Seri
yeah, it
and
is really
Matsui
weird that
and
they've just
whoever.
put Miku over. Like that's the
Yeah,
like it's like
and Mayu, like, she
I'm
lost to Mayu as if
yeah.
Mayu needs it, and it's
I'm
like,
eyeballing a My Sakurai final match. I
my
think that would
Sakurai doesn't need it either. Like, my Sakurai
exactly.
needs it less than almost anybody. Like, I just don't get it. If she is leaving, put somebody who needs it over her. You literally need main eventers. You are begging for main eventers. You have had this woman who is leaving main event 2 of your last however many Korrigans, knowing she
I
wants to
mean,
leave, you know?
Alex, we're now back to the point uh where every single person who has wrestled in a Marigold World Championship match, save for Chiaki, Miku, and Mai Sakurai, no longer work for the company.
Yeah.
Every single person who's ever been in a World Championship match for Marigold, um, and we're going on 2 years of existence.
Mhm.
Um, that's
I just don't
absurd.
get it.
And
And
we're
I do
going to
like
continue that because Maddie Morgan's challenging next.
yeah, and
So yeah, like
I don't know
I
when
feel
they
like
booked Senka versus Seri, but whoever let that go ahead when you found out this was happening is the stupidest fucker alive. Like, Seri should be beating Utami at Shine Forever. There's literally no reason she should be facing Senka. Senka's cool, but, like, Senka not offering what Utami does to Seri.
yeah. Um, so I think another part of it, and this has kind of been a problem with Marigold the whole time, but I think like this is like the most obvious is that it's just a problem with legitimacy, I
Mm,
guess. Like you have Mayu, but like I don't know, Wave has Yumioka. You know what I mean? Yes, like I'm not saying Yumioka's as good as Mayu, but like every company has like a well-respected, legendary veteran. Has one of them at least. You know what I mean? Like Oz Academy has Ozaki, right?
hmm.
Y- That isn't enough to make your
No.
company seem legitimate. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
feel like Utami and Mayu were like, and I hate this word in wrestling now, but were like the pillars of Marigold without Mirai. Like I think, and with I guess you can include Mai Sakurai, but she is still relatively unproven. Like these are two, and yeah, even Mirai unproven. Like Mayu and Utami together provided a lot of legitimacy to Marigold. That's like, it felt like it was something. I think without Utami, I don't think Mayu can carry that all on her shoulders. We'll talk about
No.
who might be coming in, a couple of people at this rate. But I just worry that like why would anybody want to go to Marigold? Like why would any wrestler want to work with Marigold now? You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh well, it seems like they have bad juju over there, considering all of the wrestlers that they have either pushed to be in line for the red belt or have won the red belt disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just don't want to work there anymore. And it's like, yeah, like obviously you can look at it like I said, Utami's reasoning makes sense. I don't have any reason to doubt that that was accurate. Uh, but like like what it's a bad look regardless. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter if that's why she left. It's like, oh, everybody fucking hates that place. Like that's the vibe. Like that is what it
Yeah.
feels.
Well, I mean, Naho and Yuki and Ryoko aren't going to help either.
Yeah, they felt the need to leave because they didn't think this whether it was the schedule wasn't, like healthy for them or, just whatever it may be. Like there are so many like Marigold just looks really bad
Mm,
ultimately. Like I think Utami leaving is going to massively be detrimental to my enjoyment of Marigold because she is my favorite
yeah.
wrestler. Uh, so obviously, and Mirai was my second favorite wrestler, and Nanai was my third favorite wrestler. So like a year ago, my feeling about Marigold very
Well,
different from
also,
now.
Tommy's one of the trainers. We haven't even thought of that.
Also true.
Isn't
Yeah,
she? She's one
she's
of the
she's the
like,
road trainer. Yeah,
dude. Like, they've
because
lost two trainers or
uh,
three. They've lost three trainers in two
they've
years.
lost all of their trainers except for Miku,
Oh
and
my god.
that's yeah,
It's fucking
except for
Shuji
Miku and
Kondo.
Shuji
Like,
Kondo. Yeah,
oh my god. What are we doing?
yeah.
It
It's
just
just
gets
and
worse.
Fuka's still there. Fuka's still
Focus
there.
select, but that's
But
different. But
yeah, it's
dude,
just
yeah.
it's bad. Like it's bad. Like it's a
Yeah.
bad look. I don't think Margot's just gonna fucking keel over and die, but
No.
I could see this feeling like a sinking ship, and like that's the biggest problem for me. That's what I've been really just kind of bummed about the past few days is that it's like I've always felt with Marigold that it's like okay, there's plenty of problems, but like you know, it's a they're fixing things on the job. You know what I mean? Like they're learning on the job type of thing. Not learning, obviously Rossi's not learning anything, but they are, they're developing stuff as it goes. I mean they're figuring stuff out. And this is the first time where I was like, I don't think they are.
No.
I think that we are actually going downhill. Um,
I I
it's not
said
just it's not just bumps in the roads or like, oh well, he kind of couldn't reach through that ceiling. It's like no, I feel like we are plummeting, and that is like this is the first time that I've like actively felt that way, and it's like really, really a bummer. It's like I like the company, I like a lot of the
yeah.
wrestlers still, even if my favorite isn't there, even if most of my favorites aren't there anymore. Like I still really like a lot of the company, but it's just it doesn't feel like this is a thing that is going uphill whatsoever.
Yeah, I said rather snarkily in private when Yuzuki got hurt, I was like, "We're gonna find out soon if Marigold is a real promotion or just like Rossi's excuse to book EO once a year." I know that is intensified by like 5. So We're gonna learn whether it's a real promotion or not over the coming weeks and months. Um, but on to like potentially positive news.
Motherfucker got fired.
There were WWE releases over the past week. I think there's a chance that somebody like Kaylee Ray or like Nikki Cross comes over to Japan. I know Rossi really liked Kaylee Ray. She was booked a lot in Stardom before she joined
You know what's
WWE.
funny? She defended the British Empire Women's Championship in a Stardom match.
That's crazy. Yeah. So like she knows Rossi. Rossi knows her. I think Kaylee Ray is awesome. She'd immediately be like a top five, top 10 in Marigold. Like I'm a big Kaylee Ray fan. So like something like that would be cool. Nikki Cross is like a respected veteran. I don't know if she would know if she would go over to Japan. She seems kind of happy where she is, but I wouldn't turn her down either. Um,
Or no, she
but
didn't. She
obviously,
wrestled in BEW, but whatever.
but the big one is obviously that Kairi was part of the list of people who were not renewed slash released slash fired slash whatever people are using. There's been reports that Kairi is just her contract is up and that she was just told she's not being renewed.
I will
But then some
say,
people are saying she told them she didn't want to renew because she wants to live back in Japan. So it's a bit murky with Kairi.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was kind of the case, and they were just like, and there was like, okay, bye, fuck you,
Yeah,
like that was kind of the vibe.
yeah, possibly. But I mean, Kyrie would be somebody who would, out of loyalty, work Marigold. Presumably, I think she could do the Nanai. My last year is here, and I'm going to retire here, and you can sell shows off of Kyrie's back for a year. I think that's a decent like short term option for Marigold. Like I don't think she was a massive draw for her Stardom run. Like we talked a lot about that, about how she wasn't impacting numbers based on what we saw. But I'd imagine for Marigold's stature, she probably would boost the attendance a little bit. Anyway, drawing aside, I do think Kyrie offers like fresh matches for people. She is a credible veteran that could put people over. I would probably give her the red belt and then have her drop to somebody and then kind of do a send off tour where she puts a few people over. I think that could be a decent way to fill the gap of Utami.
I
But
think
obviously, Kyrie wouldn't be full time. I think that would still hurt. Is that the lower shows would still lack Utami's presence, but Kyrie on the bigger shows and the Corkins would definitely be able to fill in.
I think that Rossi would really reassure me of his like fastball if Kyrie was Miku's challenger at Shine Forever.
Yeah,
Like
see, I just don't know if she's available.
if somehow all this bullshit just like was the master plan, it's like go off, King.
Yeah.
Like sure. You know what? I shouldn't have doubted you. My bad. Like if that's where we're at, then sure. Because yeah, I mean you're right. Like she shouldn't be available until Destiny in the summer, right?
Mhm.
Destiny in the summer. Summer Destiny. Um if that's the 90 days. But if she, you know, signed a contract in May of whenever the fuck she signed the contract, like if she's getting, her contract is lapsing, you know what I mean? Like if her contract is expiring, she can show up literally any day.
Mm.
So it's like, if that's what this is all about, and they're like waiting for like May 1st or waiting for whatever for it to be like, yeah, Kyrie is, like that's why they haven't announced a main event for Shine Forever. Fuck yeah, like go off, or maybe that's the Mayu match. I think that would probably would make more sense, but I don't know who would be facing Miku then. I feel like Mayu could face Momono or
Oh, she can't face Momono
oh, why not?
because that's the same day as the Hana show, and
Oh
Momono
shit,
and Iwata and Veni are all on that.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe it's just Mayu and Kyrie. Or maybe GHC. Kyrie.
it still
That would
doesn't
actually.
answer who is challenging Miku unless there's nobody.
Uh, I don't fuck off. I don't know. This company is just dire, man.
It's insane.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I
Kairi.
mean, Kyrie coming through would be really cool.
I would literally just beg her and Kiona for any dates you can get. Like that's at this point,
Yeah,
that's all he's got. um, but I don't know. I mean, I would love if he was active and to replace Utami, he signed somebody and gave them a mega push. Like I'm so tired of saying Yuki Uehara is fantastic and she could do it. There's probably other people in Actress Girls who you could pick up fairly easily. I imagine there's people in Ice Ribbon who aren't super happy with life that you could be like, hey, do you want to wrestle more than once a
wrestle full
year in
time.
Korakuen?
Yeah.
Yeah, like do you want to just do this? Like if I had any faith that he could
There's
replace
gotta be
Utami,
more wrestlers that wanna wrestle full. See, okay, like, I think Marigold might just be a failing concept.
maybe.
Like, I think if you're not Stardom, I don't know if a full-time schedule works anymore in Joshi wrestling, which is
What
depressing.
is though? I mean, them and Teacher Pidui are going to make money. Like,
TGPW is not full-time anymore.
yes, it is.
They don't do every weekend.
They run a lot though.
I feel like they run, like, 3 times a month at most. Am I crazy?
I don't think that's true.
Okay, no, they're 5, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lowest is 4 times a month,
yeah.
and
Like
that was
they
this
run.
September. Okay, I'm being facetious. Um,
They also do a lot of
oh, right,
international
they
stuff.
did the tour, they did the American tour, because I was like,
Yeah,
"What the fuck have they been doing this year?" And it's like they've had 4 shows in Japan in April, but they've
yeah,
done 10 shows altogether. Crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know, I just question if, like, full-time works for a company like Marigold anymore. Um Which is depressing because, like, I would like it to. I like full-time wrestling. I like there being wrestling on,
yeah.
but
I think if you go part time, your entire roster is gone. Like
yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
see
reason
how
for
you're
them
gonna
to be
pay a
there
lot of
anymore.
these people. Yeah, you're just seedling then at that point.
Yeah, and Seedling
So
has until like think about it. But I also think about it like that is that it's like Seedling was able to have 2 people on their roster because they only had to run once a month and
yeah,
they
but it wasn't
had a lot of
nearly as
relationships.
fun as a Marigold. You know,
No,
so
especially at that time. Yeah,
yeah,
like
like you're very limited in what you can do story wise and push wise when you run so um rarely. But I don't know. He's just gotta offer people, man. Like I don't know. Beg Yuri. Yuri is awesome. She is
Well,
like a
see, but
fantastic wrestler.
that's the type of person who I think might have showed up if Utami was still around, but I don't think there's any chance of her showing up now because she
But like
loves
all
Utami.
you have to
Like
do is
she's,
offer her full time money.
I don't think that's like I think,
Offer her a white belt or a red belt or like anything. Like this is a very, very, very talented wrestler who can benefit your company. Offer her whatever. Like that's what Rossi used to do. He'd be like, "You're a mid carder there. I'll make you a star. I'll make you a star. We'll make money. How about it?"
but but
That
this is
way,
my point. Without Utami, I question if Marigold is perceived as a place that can make stars. Because how do you make
somebody's
anybody
gonna
when you
take that
don't
bet.
have somebody to win
Somebody's
to
gonna take
beat?
that bet. That's the you just have to try until people say yes. Um,
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
like
I
O'Hara.
just I fear that, like, he doesn't even have, like, connects anymore at this rate, and the
Yeah,
ones he
probably not.
does, he can't afford to break. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I don't know. He's doomed. Marigold is
Low
doomed.
key, like, that's where I'm at. See, like, this is where I've been the past few days.
So I've been saying this company is not as good for like a year now. Y'all are just catching up. I was right.
You're ju
He's lost the
you're just
juice.
stupid. That's a completely different thing. Like, you
A
can't
lot of
be
what's
like,
happening now is like a symptom though of his inactivity over the past year plus. Like
"Sure,
I've
sure."
you know,
That's a fair point, but I don't think that's like, "Oh, this has all been bad and could have seen it coming for the past year." It's like, "No, I think it's been a pretty good company, for the most part, but, like, it's just, like, it's hemorrhaging,
mm,
and I don't know if it'll recover." Like, I think Kyrie could be a shot in the arm, but again, that's you know put the red belt on Kyrie fucking next month. She drops it in 6 months. She retires in a year or two, or probably a year realistically.
yeah.
If she were to do a full time run over the next year, yeah, she'd be retiring in a year, I imagine. Like that's another wrestler out of the company. another red belt holder. Like
Hmm.
the red belt would continue its fucking path of rage of getting people out of the company.
That's true.
Anybody who challenges for it leaves the company out of nowhere.
Uh, Miku is old too. He's so doomed. She's gonna be like,
Yeah,
"Listen, I retire. I'm sore." And he's gonna be like, "Well, shit, Sari,
Saraya
it's all on
Miyoko's
you."
gonna Saraya Miyoko's gonna go to WWE as soon as she gets the belt.
That's
She's gonna
hilarious. That was
post the
funny.
"You are invited" fucking picture, and
Oh
everybody's
my
gonna
god,
fucking go insane.
that was so
Oh
upsetting
man,
when Maddie and Angel were just like, "Yeah, we got
dude,
tryouts." Like, dude, we literally
we
just
didn't
got you to
we
Japan.
didn't talk about this. Legitimately, you were like, "Oh, I think you'd like this French tag team that nobody's ever fucking heard
Oh,
of,"
dude,
and
yeah,
I was like, "Okay, I'll check them out tomorrow." And then the next morning, they post that they're getting scouted.
yeah. No, I was like, "Oh, French art are so awesome." I got people to watch French art matches, and they all said, "Yeah, JGU is awesome." And then JGU got a tryout. So, ugh, what a world. Anyway, we do have a show to review. We're gonna be quick because we've been going for over 2 hours here.
Yeah.
Marigold ran Korakuen on the 25th of April. They announced 756 fans. This is probably the first time ever where even I've just been like, dude, you are so lying. Um, didn't really look like 750, but what do I know? Maybe it was. I didn't count the tickets. We opened with Nagisa Tachibana defeating the Lady AI, which we were informed has always been the Lady AI. This went 9 minutes, and it
I liked
was
it.
yeah, it was okay. Tachibana was good on top, and Lady AI is like doing more and more stuff.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. Maddie Morgan beat Chiaki and Naoshikawa in 6.5 minutes. This is another Yuzuki match that I was robbed of, and I'm upset. Like Maddie Morgan
Yeah.
and Yuzuki would have been crazy. This was fine.
So was
Naoshikawa works
Maddie
well with that.
Morgan gonna beat Yuzuki? Maybe
Probably,
draw. They
yeah,
would have drawed. They would have
maybe.
drawed.
I don't know. Rossi really likes Maddie. I'm surprised she doesn't have a contract rating already. Um, maybe if the tryout goes badly, who knows? Yeah, good enough three-way match. Naoshikawa is good with Maddie. Chiaki
Yeah,
was kind of fun.
it was
Um,
whatever.
yeah. Misa Matsui, Nagisa Nozaki, and Rei Seto beat Hummingbird, Komo Manami, and Megaton in just under 9 minutes. This was okay. It was your standard Darkest Revolution match against the assorted baby faces. I thought Hummingbird looked good actually.
I thought Hummingbird and Red Sato were cool.
Yeah, like if Hummingbird wants to start doing her shit again, that would be cool. Yeah, Darkness Revolution 1. I assume they're being kept hot for a 3D thing, just in case Arena can't come back. But yeah. We then had Mai Sakurai, Natsumi Suzuki, and Shino take on and defeat Momoka Hanazono, Syoko Kashino, and Yuki Yamazaki in just under 13 minutes. This was a real highlight. They did a lot of comedy. This is probably the best I've seen from like Shino of all people. She just was like excellent here. Suzuki played the straight woman in all of
Yeah,
it
this
and was
was
like,
awesome.
dude, get your shit together.
I love
Um,
this.
Hanazono, please never leave. Like, actually get her on every show.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think she should just be around all the time because she's a lot of fun. She really
Yeah.
gives this undercard a shot in the arm. Um, she's also just like a great worker. Like I think a very
Hmm.
underrated worker.
Very
Obviously,
talented.
I was praising the Utami Hanazono match earlier is one of my matches of the year. It is. I think it's like number six or something. Just great match, and she's just a great worker. Very funny. I think I loved her and Yuka and Shioko just kind of like not being on the same page. Them being like, "Oh, we have like telekinesis because we're all from Osaka," and they're like, "No, we fucking don't. We don't know shit. We suck together." Like they just kept fucking everything up like on purpose. It was so good. And yeah, Shizuki's like the best fucking straight woman you could ever have. Like she's just so good at fucking like working off of the comedy
Yeah.
that everyone was doing, everyone else. Like she just is so good at that sort of stuff. So yeah, really really like this one.
Okay. Afterwards, my Sakurai in the post match promo or the like backstage comments was kind of talking shit to Chi Chi, so that's kind of interesting. Um, maybe they're picking up that mantle. Um, we then had Chika Goto beat Koki in 18 minutes. They initially went to a time limit draw and then did the restart, which is like my favorite gimmick. This was surprisingly good. Like this is one of the best Koki performances of her career. I think it was one of the better Chikagota performances as well. They both just showed all of their best qualities in this one, and they kind of I thought Koki really was like better than I expected at selling. Like, she kind of sold the duration of the match a lot better. Like she was completely dead on her feet for a lot of it after as we approached the time limit and after the time limit. Because like Goto had her beat when the bell rang, and so afterwards she was still like, "Oh shit, I'm kind of rocked." And I thought like she just sold the brutality of the match really well. Yeah, just a real standout for both of them. Honestly, it's just so surprisingly like quite good.
Yeah, no, I thought it was definitely their best showing as a like duo as a pair. Um, I know, like, it's always like, oh, Dylan's always defending Koki. I thought Koki had a really good week. Um, I thought her and Utami. I watched that. It was only like 8 minutes, but I thought that was awesome. I thought it was a really really well worked match from Sapporo. And then yeah, this match was awesome. I felt like Koki really like brought something that we haven't seen from her. A
Mm,
certain level of like venom, a certain level of just like energy and passion, so to speak. Um, that was necessary. You need that. You need that from her in moments like these. Like it's crucial that you get that. So I really liked her performance, but yeah, I mean, Chikagoto is just such a fucking star. Like she's so good. Um, I think that the world is her oyster. She could be so, such a great wrestler. She is just absolutely incredible. I adored this match. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. Um, they were beating the fuck out of each other. I
mhm.
honestly, I think that Chikagoto should win a belt. Maybe not win a belt. Win a title match with the count out swing.
Yes.
Like now that we're establishing it, I think like she should win the white belt and there's oh my god. See, like this is the problem. There's no big wrestlers in this company no more.
Yeah.
Cuz it's like she's not
Exactly.
beating
We are making you a
yeah, like
star.
you just became real important at your part-time job, homegirl. Um but like we're not feeding Mayu to a Go Chica white belt run. We're not I mean, I guess Miku, after she's lost the belt, like a year from now, can lose a white belt match. But point being, someone that you don't really want Gochika to pin, I think having like a really hard fought match and then having her get the count out with the swing, that I'll pop for. I'll love that. I'm so here for it. Um, and yeah, I just thought this match was awesome. Point.
Okay.
That's my point. Also great to see Chigoto win it. Like I think that was the right move. I loved that they went to a draw. I was like, okay, they did a really good 15 minutes. Then they started the match over, and that extra 3 minutes really gave it that oomph, that push forward to be even better. And I was happy that we ended up getting Chigoto winning
Yeah,
over
that was
Koki.
great. I liked that. Um, After the match, then they confirmed that Twin Tower is back together and will challenge for the Twin Star titles at Shine Forever. The one thing we kept predicting for months and then stopped predicting, they finally did it. So thanks, Rossi. Um, and I mean, I know people are kind of down on Twin Tower. I feel like it is the best work that Kogi does. It's just natural. Like she is the
Well, you
big
see,
tall one who gets to save the face in peril. Like it is just a perfect dynamic for them.
the best
Um,
work that Gochika did was as a part of Power Tag, and that
yeah,
shit's dead now.
yes,
So fucking Twin Tower, sure.
yeah,
Why not? That's why I was hung up is that it's like, oh, like if Coach Chica's not gonna be like doing single stuff, she should just tag with Utami. Well,
yeah. Can't do that no more.
yeah. I was gonna make a
So
video edit of them and everything. I'm fucking
it's crazy.
man.
But I think this would be important. I've said a lot. I think that for the long term future, it is better if Twin Tower win the belts and they connect Chica and Koki forever, kind of, because that is Rossi's MO. And he keeps saying that Koki has to be a big part of Marigold's future. So her having those kind of relationships to play off will be
Yeah,
beneficial down the line.
somebody said it. I would like to like quote them on it, but I'll try to look back and see. Um, oh, Totopuro, yeah. That like the ideal situation for Marigold would be if like Twin Tower became like the Saito brothers. where they like become like the most overact as a tag
Mm.
team. If they put as much energy into Twin Tower as possible and make them into like this like, indomitable indomitable in
Yeah.
on in indomitable tag team that like is like protected and looks good and like, feels like strong and is a draw. If they could do that with those two, that's literally like obviously that's a big ask, but that would save Marigold for years. Like that would be like, and with Utami leaving, I don't know if I'm as in agreement with that take, but when I first saw it, I was like, that's a good point. Like if they could somehow make Twin Tower like this like world class tag team, not even like in ring necessarily, but just like in terms of like popularity and the ability to just like be captivating and get the crowds going. Like I think that would be uh that's like the most beneficial thing they could do right now for the company.
Mm.
Because
Well,
like yeah, like they could put the belt on Sari, like the world title on Sari. But then Sari wins the world title, is world champion, drops it, and leaves because that's what
mm,
happens now. So it's like I think building through the tag belts is is something that like they need to start doing again. Um,
definitely.
yeah,
Um, we then got on to the British Empire women's title match. That doesn't seem like the right name at all.
it is.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was British Empire Wrestling women's title, but anyway. Sari Amioka beat Angel Hayes in just under 12 minutes, and what I thought was a very good match.
Yeah,
I said from the moment Hayes was announced for her tour that she would have a very good match with Mayu Iwatani in a singles. That did not happen, but we did get a very good singles match with Sari Amioka. So uh, I was correct. I always knew Angel had this in her. Don't really have much to say. Sari winning is cool. She gets her first title. She can do the belt armor gimmick, I guess. Maybe that's why she's facing Senka. Senka's gonna win like the Senjo Junior belt, and Sari will take that, and then she'll have belt armor.
Senka does have the Senjo Junior belt.
Good. She can keep it and drop it to Sari, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool.
yeah, no, I mean it was a big win for Sari and a good showing from Hazel Hayes. I think if I was Rossi, I would offer Angel Hayes a contract as well. She's a she's just a very good wrestler. Like I think she would be a good addition to the roster, and I don't know if she's gonna get signed. I feel like she's been around long enough that Bowie would have signed her by now. Um, but like I would offer her a deal. I think she's a very good wrestler. Um, yeah. Afterwards, Sari challenged Senka to a title match at Shine Forever, which I think is insane now, knowing what we know.
Yeah,
Um, Our main event then for the Marigold World Championship, Miko Ono beat Utami Hayashishita in just under 24 minutes by dropping her on her dome to get the win. I thought this was great. I thought it was better than their Sumo Hall match. I thought it executed a lot of the ideas better. I thought Utami's limb work was kind of showcased better. Like those points from Miko Ono could barely walk because her legs were being targeted the entire time. Um, I just thought that there was a little bit more juice to what Iona was doing in her comeback. Like I get people that don't like it. Like the opening was still the opening that Utami always does. But I did think they executed on a lot of the ideas way better than they did in the Sumo Hall match. So I thought it was a great time, but you know, maybe I'm just
I I
overly
disagree that
excited.
it was better than the Sumo Hall match. I think that like you're right. Like I think that the ideas, like some of the ideas, were executed better. But I ultimately think like the Sumo Hall match was a match that was we are putting Miku Aono over, and that is the most important thing. I think this match was Utami wants one last great world title match in Marigold. Um, and so I think that this match was a bit more diverse in that way. You know what I mean? Like I think the Sumo Hall match had like one clear agenda, whereas this one was like go have a convincing, aggressive, heated match. Where I do think like the limb work was tremendous. Like I loved what Utami was doing to Miku. I thought that was so good. Like I love that they expanded upon that. They explored that. Like, oh well, if she's trying to kick the shit out of me, why don't I just try to break her leg? Like dove way more into that, which I think was completely necessary. Miku kept working the neck, hoping to hit the Guerrero special, which almost murdered Utami last time. Utami blocked that. Like I thought that there were a lot of like interesting uh, developments from the last match, but I
Mm.
also think I might have been comparing the two a bit too much, and that might have brought this down a little bit for me because I don't think it did as good of a job at any one thing as that match did, but I think you can argue that this was like a more functionally, like from a structure point of view, a more like it had more to it than that match, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like I definitely
Yes.
get your point. I have it lower than that one, but I did really love this match. That was great. um and yeah, very bittersweet in the end, because it's like, man, like Utami even tweeted that she was like, just so everybody knows, even if I beat Miku, I was never gonna fight Miku again. Like that was my thinking going into this match. um like, even if I won the belt, it's not like I would have, like, just miraculously stuck around. It's like, you know,
Mm.
this was my last match with Miku. And so I was like, "Damn, that's rough," you know? But, yeah, I thought it was a great one, and I really enjoyed it. I'm happy that they ran it. I mean, it again, in hindsight, it's like, I feel like we could have been doing more or less with Utami, Like, either have her, be putting over youngins or have her be fading into obscurity. Like instead they made her the focal point and the most interesting Miko Ono challenger of her run. And now she's leaving. And now I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's definitely like this was a good show. And
Yes.
it's so unfortunate that they had kind of everything happen after, because like the Twin Tower thing, it's cool. I talking shit to Chi Chi, it's cool. Seri and Angel singles is cool. Maddie Morgan challenging Iono, very fun. Like there was a lot to like on the show, which does kind of make it more upsetting that they had so much just bad news surrounding it, because it's hard to overcome when Mayu's hurt, Yuzuki's hurt, now Tommy's leaving. It's like, wow, great. But yeah, I know we usually do previews, but they are doing house shows, and we're going quite late, so I don't think we'll be able to preview.
Chi-Chi's on one of them, ain't she? Or is
Yes,
that like a week later?
she.
Like,
I don't know. They
oh, and
announced like
Jaguar
8
Yakota's
different
also on there.
cards. Yeah, it's unfortunate we can't preview, but there
We'll talk
is
about the
some
good
fun
stuff
stuff
too.
coming up this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that is it for the show. Um. Hopefully, Marigold doesn't die again within the next week. That seems to just be a common
Inshallah.
thing. Um. So if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever. Stardom Quest Goldo. Passion.
Passion. Ijo.